Yeah. Baby.
Back. We're back. So we'll probably have this week, we're going to go ahead and do the show.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to need some time off eventually, Mike. So,
well, I'm going to be leaving on Friday. I start my vacation on Friday, so I'll be in Cancun. So we'll need to get some guests in.
How long are you going to be in the Cancun area? Cancun.
Going to be in Cancun for a few days. I think I come back on Monday, I think I get back on Monday or Tuesday. It's basically a weekend thing.
Yeah. So
Joe, congratulations to you. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, man.
Chat is open. The chat is open.
There's Tex-Mex Frank joining us right now.
That's right, baby.
Us. Got a lot to talk about, man. Spurs had a big game, huge game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Cowboys, they wet the bed again.
Hey, man, ACL's taking down Patrick Mahomes and Micah Parsons.
You know what? I saw Micah Parsons get hurt, and you know what I said in my
voice? Joe.
Good.
Joe.
Good.
Joe. That's funny. 30 seconds.
He a hoe anyway, dude.
He did nothing other than want to sign a contract with the Cowboys.
Complain. Come on, man.
Jerry Jones didn't talk to his agent. Refused to talk to his agent. What do you expect him to do? That's all Jerry Jones'
to the
fault.
Story. There's more to the story than that, bro.
No, that's all you need to know about the story. Jerry Jones wanting to do things by a napkin like it's the 1950s. Jerry Jones.
Anyway, he got hurt, and I said, good.
Where the dreams don't fade from the river walk nights to the Alamo shade. We rise together through the highs and the lows. Area 210. Oh, it's the life that we chose.
We're rising together on a championship Tuesday. That's right. It's the Emirates Cup final tonight between the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. Tip-off at 7:30 from Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. This is the Area 210 podcast powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. We go for about an hour and a half talking sports and pop culture. It's a fun show, again, powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. Before we get going, Joe, congratulations to you and your family. Your daughter graduated from UTSA yesterday, which is why we didn't have a show yesterday.
Yeah.
Congratulations, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I was a proud papa yesterday, enjoying my daughter walking the stage over there at the Alamo Dome with all the other UTSA kiddos, graduating. My daughter graduated with a bachelor's in environmental science. So congratulations to her. Moving on to bigger and better things here shortly. She's going to be moving out. So she's had a long week and a heck of a year. Hell of a year, I should say. She's got married. She graduated. She's moving. A lot of things are happening for her. I'm happy for her and her husband, my son-in-law there. So she made us proud yesterday. They even did an article about her, dude. UTSA did, and it was really cool, to see her being, praised for her accolades. And she was all like dressed to the nines too. When she walked the stage, she had the honors college thing. She had all her little ropes, that they put on you. She had a big old medal on her. All these things are things that she's worked hard to earn. They're just not given to you. Right. So, all her hard work was on full display. She was very proud of herself, and we were proud of her as well. And we celebrated at the Hard Rock Cafe, and we had a meeting there too. So good things could be coming in the future, Mike.
Very nice. Possible advertising, possible sponsorship from them. We don't know, but congratulations to you. That's fantastic. A bit of a whirlwind for you guys. It's been a whirlwind for Spurs fans. Who would have thought that we'd be in the Emirates Cup final? We went from 2 years ago going, who cares about the Emirates Cup? It's no big deal. Just an in-season tournament, no big deal. But suddenly we advanced to the quarterfinals, and then we advanced to the semifinals and took out. We slayed the dragon, the Oklahoma City Thunder, over the weekend in what is considered to be the greatest game of the year so far. And the amount of respect and love that the NBA community is giving to the Spurs right now, I have never seen as a Spurs fan. Because if you remember back in the day, it was, the Spurs are too boring. They're just too boring, right? Back when they were winning titles in 93, 99, 03, and 05, it was like a slow, defensive-oriented game that was kind of hard to watch unless you were a Spurs fan. 2014, beautiful game, was a lot different. But this time, you have the casuals, the NBA fans who are looking at this team and going, this is a fun team to watch. In fact, ESPN and The Ringer, before the season started, listed the Spurs as one of 4 teams in the NBA that were must-watch TV. And it was because of Wemby initially, right? But when Wemby 12 games because of an injury, goes down with a strained calf, other players kind of came into the mix, right? De'Aaron Fox came back from injury. Dylan Harper came back from injury. The same was said about Stephon Castle. Spurs going 9-3 without Wemby out there, and all of a sudden they're fun to watch. And then beyond all that, we're seeing this emergence of Wemby as he came back to the court last weekend, this emergence of Wemby as a trash talker, going after Alex Caruso, going after certain players and mean mugging and things like that. And Joe, I want to get into that. And I also want to get into the question that you posed before the show started, which is, are the Spurs really a championship contender right now? So we're going to get into that. Other sports topics on the way. Texans won over the weekend. Cowboys lost over the weekend. We'll get into that later on. Diego Pavia lost his mind. We'll get into that later on. But going into the whole thing about it, Joe, I remember when the Spurs drafted Victor Wembanyama 2.5 years ago, I remember this article, this story by Brian Windhorst of ESPN. This guy, the one who did that, right?
Yeah.
I remember Brian Windhorst coming out and saying, this is not your Tim Duncan type of player. This is not David Robinson. And this is somebody in Victor Wembanyama who is more Kobe than Tim. He is more trash talker than silent leader. He is more bombastic. He is more chest pounding than he is, bank shot and just run to the other side of the court. And we had not seen much of that, Joe. I'm not saying that he hadn't flexed a couple of times, but we had not seen that. It was like he came to San Antonio, joined the Spurs, and acted like Tim, acted like Dave Robinson. Very conservative by nature, whatever the case may be, but they were losing, so what else are we going to do, right? But now that the Spurs are winning and potentially championship contenders and in tonight's Cup Finals, you're seeing Wemby be more vocal.
Ahí está Wemby, mira Wemby.
Talking trash. And he even said so after the game. Talking trash. Joe, go on to my Twitter account real fast. I just retweeted an interview that was done with Wemby over the weekend. And they asked him a question about trash talking. Why are you doing this? Are you okay with this? And I have a poll on Twitter asking that very question. Are you okay with Wemby trash talking? Because this is something that we haven't seen much of before from a star. We've seen Spurs players trash talk. We saw Sohan go F Houston, right? We saw certain players along the way that were second, third, and fourth tier with this team that would open their mouths every once in a while. But for the leader of the team, we never saw David Robinson do this. We never saw Tim Duncan do this. But Wemby's a different animal. And as Brian Windhorst pointed out back in the day when he got drafted, this isn't your dad's Spurs team. This isn't your dad's Spurs leader. This is somebody who wants the smoke. So here's Victor Wembanyama being interviewed about his trash talking earlier this weekend.
No, I think you should always have. I don't know. I don't know. Having a filter is it's even a philosophical question, but trash talk for me can be used for two things: either disrupt the opponent or give yourself and your team more energy. Some sort of So it's some things like that on the court you don't want to control. You don't want to have a filter because it goes with the flow of the game, and you're not trying to stop you. If you want to do it, as long as it doesn't hurt the team and it's still correct in a humanly way, like you don't want to stop yourself from doing it if you're in that momentum. So I don't know, as long as it's natural and not forced.
Okay, as long
That's
as it's
nice.
natural and not forced, right? As long as it's
Yeah.
natural, right? So here's the thing, Spurs fans. Okay, I'm not saying I don't like it. Okay, I don't want you to think that I got my panties in a twist and I'm clutching pearls right now because I'm mad. That's not what I'm doing with this segment. What I'm saying is that I find it fascinating that the leader of the Spurs number one player, the generational guy, is acting more like LeBron than he is Tim Duncan, acting
Yeah.
more like Kobe than he is like David Robinson. We saw this last week. We made fun of LeBron the other day, right? LeBron
Oh,
did what? He screamed in the face
yeah.
of the elote, the
Luke
big elote,
Cornett. Yeah.
right? For 4 seconds, he just screamed in his face after dunking on him. And we're like, oh, come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing? But then we're watching the Spurs play the next game, and you see Wemby over Caruso and then flexing and all that stuff against another player from I think it was maybe Casey Wallace from the Thunder.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we have our own guy that's doing that now. And Joe, I
Yeah.
want to get your opinion on this. What are your thoughts on Wemby saying that he's okay with trash talking as long as it's in the flow of the game, doesn't hurt the team, and is not forced? What are your thoughts?
No, I mean, go out there and talk your shit, but you know what? You got to back it up too. You
There
can't
you
be out
go.
there flexing on guys and dunking and acting silly, doing all this if you're down by 20. If you're in a heated battle and you're going to go ahead and use that to go ahead and get in their head, and use that as a tool, why not? I think it works on Chet. I think Chet low key's afraid of Wemby. Because when he missed that free throw, Wemby got it and he started screaming,
Yeah.
and Chet's just there and he's probably like, this mother,
All the free
and
throw line. All the
yeah,
free throw
he
line.
gets in his head, he in
Yeah.
his mind, and I like that mind game aspect of things, Go out there, talk your shit, go out there and scream, flex, and do these things. I think it gets to see that little dog come out of Wemby. I think it's good for the rest of the team because then they're going to play like that too, because hey,
Feed
the
off of it.
Wemby, for all intents and purposes, that's your leader right there. That's the one guy that they're all going to look to. And if he's doing that, they're like, well, we got the green light. Let's do this, And when Wemby started doing that, the complexion of the game changed. He's like, we're here to win. We're not here to lose. We're not afraid of you guys, in OKC. So it's good to see him do these things. You want to see your leader be animated. You see the difference between a Wemby and a Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was great, go out there and he would lead by example, right?
Mhm.
Low key, go out there, low key, talk trash, and just, be Mr. Double Double, the big fundamental. Wemby, he wants to go ahead and have that spotlight on him. And he's like, I want all that smoke. And I like that. It's good. You want your star player to do that kind of stuff. It animates everybody. And then the fans like it. You liked it. I liked it. Even the announcers like it. And what does that mean? San Antonio is exciting to watch. That
Okay,
was
we
the best game that I've seen so far.
so many great comments, Joe. By the way, that's great take. Wonderful take. So many comments coming in from PF Chang's La Cantera's chat, right? Joy-Con coming out. I see you, Joy-Con, coming out and saying Wemby flexing on Chet is bad. Arch flexing on Sam Houston State is good. Okay, first of all, Arch flexing on Sam Houston State, a 5-star recruit against a 0-star recruit. The number one preseason ranked team against a FBS school. Come on, man. That's a little bit different than
Yeah.
Spurs doing this against the NBA champions. I find that to be funny. People are upset. Chris Gonzalez saying it's that KG, that Kevin Garnett teaching that Wemby had over the summer. Maybe he's more Garnett than he is Duncan. It's just fascinating.
He got more
Sam-
dog in him than
Sam
Duncan.
Flynn says, how dare you say Wemby's like LeBron, Mike? You take that back. I didn't say he's. Oh, I did say it. Okay. Grind City Buyers. That's a newer name to the chat. Welcome to the show. Says it's due to the generation he comes from. Timmy and Dave are and came from old heads, older generation, that they're old heads.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
We got an incoming super chat too, by the way. So let's address
Hear
that.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
I'm still here, Sohan, which I believe is Matt Lerma. Could be $5
Yeah.
super chat saying. So what you're saying is that Sohan has had an influence on Wemby. So we started at $25 million a year for 4 discount rate for Jeremy Wemby Whisperer.
Ay, no mames, dude.
Oh my God.
No
Jeremy
mames,
Sohan, who
perrito.
has not sniffed the court the last 2 games. You and I have played as many minutes as Jeremy Sohan has
You know what was
last
the
2
most
games.
impressive stat of that game on Saturday and the prior game when the Spurs won and beat the Lakers? That stat line with Jeremy Sohan playing 0 minutes. It's
Right.
very telling. I mean, at this point, the
They
brothers
gave up on
played
him.
him out of position. He's played himself out of his position. He's no longer a let's say a viable asset out there on the court. It's
Mhm.
the nicest way to say it. When he's out there, he can guard, but he can't shoot. You can't count on him to make free throws. He doesn't really fit well with the system. You know, I mean, what's going on right now is the Spurs have a nice rotation, both bench wise and in the starting unit. And Mitch is kind of saying, I'm not messing with the formula. It's working right now. Sohan, you're going to have to sit. You might get run here and there, but that's about all we can offer you. That's not worth 23 mil a year. Unfortunately for Sohan, I think he's going to be a casualty of what's going on with the Spurs and how the players are developing right now. He might be better suited playing on another team, Mike, and get more
Yeah,
burn over there. But right now in San Antonio, his time is up, bro. The
he is.
writing's on the wall.
And they can't send him to Austin because he's a
No.
4-year veteran, man. It's just not going to happen that way. But you look at it this way: what position is he going to play? Is he a top 2 point guard on the team? No, Harper and Fox are, right. Is he a top 2 shooting guard on this team? No, because you have Vassell and you have Castle. Is he a top 2 center on this team? No, because you have Wemby and you have Cornette. Is he a top 2 power forward on this team? No, because you have Barnes and Olynyk. Is he a top 2 small forward on this team? No, because you have
Carter.
Julian Champagny and other players. He doesn't have any
Yeah.
place on this team where he's the top 2 of any position.
No.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Keldon Johnson and Champagny are better at the 3 than he is. So he has no place to go. He has
Yeah.
no position. There's no
Look at
true
that.
position for him.
Somebody was in here saying that I need to sign the. I wonder is Joe if Wemby if I wonder if Wemby is good enough for Joe yet. Wemby had look real talk. You all need to calm down with all that with Wemby right now. He had a great breakout game. His return. Most players when they come back from injury and they get some burn, of course they're going to look good in their first game returning. It's how you're going to perform after that. You know, it's great to
Right.
see this out of Wemby. Everybody loved it, including myself. I just want to see the consistency. Now, I saw some things though that OKC did that I think other teams are going to mimic, and we've already seen this happening throughout the season already, even though it's been early. You don't necessarily need to beat Wemby with size. You don't have to match his size, right?
Mhm.
Because that's impossible to match another player at 7 foot with the skill set that Wemby has. It's not going to happen. But the one thing that we saw that bothers him is putting a smaller defender on him, like a Caruso. Caruso was able to get underneath Wemby and poke the ball away from him consistently, and that bothers him. And the thing is, when you put a smaller defender on Wemby, he can't just go and bulldoze them because they can flop and it's an offensive foul. And if he gets in foul trouble early, he's a detriment to his team. Now he's going to have these things happen to him. The only thing I want to see is how is he going to combat that? And we saw a lot of triple teaming on Wemby from OKC in different areas of the court, and that's something that Wemby's going to have to recognize, and he's going to have to go ahead and pass the ball sooner to combat the double and triple teams and different looks that opposing teams are going to put out on him. I think that's going to be on full display tonight early against the Knicks. I just want to see how Wemby's going to go ahead and feed off of this great game that he had. I just want to see him, keep it going. Keep it going.
Well, keep in mind, Wemby was on a minutes restriction. He only played
Yeah.
7 minutes in the first half of that game. So his plus minus was the highest of any Spurs player by far.
Yeah.
If he had played the first half, he only played 7 of the 24 minutes in the first half. But they held him out for the second half of the game, which was amazing. I see what you're saying, Joe, about getting underneath his skin a little bit because the younger player, the smaller player, he's not used to that. He's used to teams, whether it be in France or the first couple of years in the NBA, them putting the big guys on him.
Yeah.
What makes a difference, Joe? Why the smaller player on Wemby is not going to work ultimately is because now you have a healthy 3-headed monster on the backcourt of Fox, Castle, Harper, and to some extent Devin Vassell. Because what they are able to do, Joe, is get in the paint.
Yeah.
and they get 2 feet in the paint, and it's done, and it's over. And because of that, go ahead and put a small guy on Wemby. Guess what? We're just gonna drive right by you. That's simply put. By the
Yeah.
way, I put on my Twitter account, and I just retweeted it. A funny little thing that happened with the press conference involving Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle. So the press is interviewing Stephon Castle, and they're like 4 people deep in there. And you had somebody come in and ask a question. That person asking the question, Joe, was Dylan Harper, the Spurs rookie. So he asked his teammate a particular question, and I wanted to get your impression on it. I don't know if you found it already.
Okay, let me go. You have it on your Twitter?
Yes, and this is a courtesy of NBA.com. By the way, tonight's game is on Amazon Prime. Go get a subscription or get someone's credentials to get in, right? 7:30 tip-off. Spurs favored to lose this game by 2.5 points. You had the Knicks coming in with identical records, but the Knicks have actually won 9 out of their 10 last games. Big game. But here's what Dylan Harper had to ask of his teammate, Stephon Castle.
I got a question. So, Steph, I'm just know how to ask you a question. So, like, how do you get to the rim so easy? I feel like, out there just watching you, your game's so fluent, you just get to the basket at a very high level. So I'm just curious on how you get to the rim.
I watch a lot of Dylan Harper highlights, so kind of just trying to make my game after that.
You like that, Joe? You like that? How do you get to the
That's
basket
funny,
so
man.
easily?
That's funny.
And it's funny because I was watching the Zach Lowe podcast on the Ringer, and you look at not only Zach Lowe, but other people from ESPN all saying Dylan Harper just gets to the paint, man.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't matter what speed. I called him Greg Maddox a couple of weeks ago.
Greg Maddox.
He's a Greg Maddox. Yeah, like the YouTube stream,
stream.
please. He just gets into the lane, and Fox gets in the lane, and Harper gets in the lane, and Castle gets in the lane. And that's why the whole thing about getting a small guy on Wemby is not going to work. Because it used to be, if you collapse down on Wemby, what you're going to do is you have to kick it back and pray to God that Barnes makes the 3. Pray to God that Sohan or Champagne makes the 3. But the Spurs are going back in time. I know the Spurs are making decent enough 3s at a decent enough of a clip, but they're going back in time by doing what, Joe? Becoming mid-range assassins.
No.
They're basically they're doing the opposite of what the Warriors used to do or what the Celtics did when they made their championship runs. They're going in there and they're getting easy buckets. Saying, you know what?
Yeah.
Harper, Castle, Fox, go in there and create havoc in the paint.
One thing that we haven't talked about enough, I think, with Castle is he's a great two-way player, man. I think you can go ahead and say at this point of his career, he's a baby Kawhi, right? Because he can play both offense really well, get to the rim with ease and all that. But more importantly, his defense out there, man. He's starting to come into his own. And this is early on in his career. He defended Shai better than anybody else.
Yeah.
And he wasn't getting him. He didn't foul him a lot. Like Shai was getting frustrated with Castle, right? Because he wasn't getting to the line a lot.
And even some of the fouls that were called on SGA's benefit were complete garbage.
Oh,
SGA,
yeah, man.
And we saw Ron Harper, Dylan Harper's dad, 5-time champion with the Bulls and Lakers, coming out and saying, dude, it's trash, man. The Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is throwing his legs out underneath the players.
It is, man. Because Castle, there was one where Castle was just straight up guarding him, and he even put his feet away from Shai.
He's
as
doing
Shai
this.
came down, he extends
Right.
his legs to make contact and then just falls and, of course, gets to the free throw line. They need to go ahead and implement some type of new policy moving forward in the NBA. Like, if guys are going to do that, it's a no call. It's not
Yep.
like you're landing on somebody's foot,
That should be a reverse tech.
offensive.
Is
Yeah.
what
Okay.
it should be. By the way, we got people pissed off at me that I compared Wemby to LeBron. Sam Slims is saying, how dare you compare Castle to Kawhi, Joe? Take that back, he says.
I'm just saying, baby Kawhi. Back in his day when Kawhi was really the best two-way player in the league, right? Everybody was like, man, look at Kawhi, look at Kawhi. I know everybody hates the name and they hate to say it. I'm not scared. I'm gonna say it. He was still a good player when he was here with San Antonio.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, things just got sour. But y'all are forgetting that he was a good player. If it wasn't for Kawhi, y'all wouldn't have that 2014 chip.
He
You know,
wasn't
and
a
the
good
one
player.
that
He
he
was
won
a
in
great
Toronto,
player.
yeah, the one that he won in Toronto should have been here with San Antonio. The things just went sour, you know. But I mean, you can't discount that the guy was a good player. You know, the numbers aren't going to lie, and neither is what happened in the 2014 NBA Finals. You can't say, "Oh, I don't like Kawhi now." You know, he's not a good player. Then take down the banner, the 2014. Take it down.
Well, speaking of
You can't
banners,
pick and choose.
Spurs win tonight. They raise the banner, don't they?
They do. They
The
raise the
Lakers,
Emirates Cup banner.
the Lakers have their banner up. The Bucks have their banner up. The Spurs raise that up to the top. You know,
Hey,
it's
we
funny
got
because we try to do player comparisons, right? People
yeah,
get pissed off that I call Dylan Harper DeMar DeRozan, right?
yeah.
Nothing wrong with DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan's an all-star, right? Calling Wemby KG or calling Wemby a LeBron type player is not a bad thing, and calling Steph Castle Kawhi Leonard is not either. There's two problems with Steph Castle's game, and it's funny because I was listening to the Zach Lowe podcast last night. He was saying there are two flaws in Castle's game, and you and I have talked about this before.
Yeah.
But he is so good at everything else that it kind of outshines it. Look at how bad Sohan is offensively, right? It doesn't matter how good defensively he is. His offensive game will never be good enough to counterbalance how anything that he brings to the table defensively, right? But when it comes to Castle, there's two things. He's a turnover machine, and he can't hit a three to save his life. Joe, I'm never going to believe that Castle's going to be a three-point shooter. Chip Anglin, the shooting doctor, ain't walking through that door again. But I am a believer that Castle can clean up the turnovers, averaging like 4 a game. Get that down to sub 3, Joe. The guy's going to be an all-star when it's all said and done.
Yeah, there's
Gonna be
some
an
holes
all-star.
in everybody's game, you know, and they can get better as they get, you know, aged well in the
Right.
NBA. You know, as they get more years under their belt, they become veteran players. Their game evolves, you know, and that's what's
And-
going to happen with Castle, Mike. I mean, it's early on right now. There's some things he needs to work on. I think the kid knows that as well. You know,
Yeah. JH has to be saying DeRozan sucks. DeRozan of 2015 did not suck. You're talking about DeRozan of now. DeRozan of
Yeah.
now is now an old player, right? LeBron of now is an old player compared to what he used to be. Talk about prime DeMar DeRozan when he was first in the league. Saying K Cunningham that he doesn't say that he's not DeRozan defensively. When I talk about DeRozan, I'm talking about offensively.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Dylan Harper as an offensive player. It reminds me that there is a lot of Cade Cunningham as well. I don't see the Jalen Brunson aspect of it all. Jalen Brunson is a bowling ball, and we're going to see Brunson tonight. He's a bowling ball at all times. There's no speed. Again, I talk about how Harper's like Greg Maddux pitching the ball, right?
Yeah.
Off speed, fastball, off speed, curveball, sinker, two-seamer, all that stuff. He's just different. You don't know what you're going to get. With Brunson, it's the exact same play over and over again, man. It's like watching a Blake Griffin type of point guard, man. He's just going to try to barrel over you at some point.
He's reminiscent of Kawhi, not Kawhi, of Keldon Johnson's game in a way.
Yeah.
Where sometimes you get the bull in the china shop and you just put your head down and go to the rim and be damned if somebody's open or what. You're just going to do your own thing, you know?
Make contact or be the contact is basically
Yeah.
it. Now, again, the Knicks have won 9 out of 10 games. On my Twitter feed, I have a sound from NBA.com from Karl Anthony Towns, who we're going to see a lot of. And they were asking him, how do you stop the Spurs? And it's interesting because Karl Anthony Towns, you know, big guy who last game against Orlando had 29 points on 9 of 11 shooting, made 2 of 4 from 3. So this is the big guy that the Spurs are going to have to stop, whether it be the big Elote or Wemby going after him. The question was asked, how do you stop the Spurs? Here's what Cat had to say.
What's the key to facing San Antonio?
You got to match their pace. They're one of the best teams in the open floor and transition points. They guard some of the most. So if we can slow them down transition-wise, make them have to play in the half-court set, I think we give ourselves the best chance of winning. And obviously, offensively executing what we do. It would be great to get some turnovers too. We're really good when we get turnovers. We translate them to a lot of points.
Okay, that was the exact correct answer to that. match the pace. The Knicks have to match the pace of the Spurs because what do the Spurs do, Joe? They just run. We saw that against Oklahoma City. We saw that against the Lakers, right? You see LeBron go for a dunk and mean mug and all that crap. And guess what Castle's doing? He's running the length of the court back and getting a snowbird shot down the way, man. It's like, oh, well, here's a 70-foot pass down the way to Castle.
Yeah, he gone.
He's gone. Like, your dunk, even though it's a top 10 highlight on SportsCenter, it was worth the same amount of points as the layup that you just gave up on the other end because you didn't get back on D.
Still counts as 2.
Still counts as 2. But I want to go into your comment, Joe, before the show started. Are the Spurs championship contenders? Because
No. Are they championship contenders right now, as currently constructed? Because we saw a lot of the chatter as of Saturday when they were going up against OKC. Van Gundy was out there singing the Spurs praises. A lot of the other 4-letter network and everybody else was talking about the Spurs, and they're like, man, I don't care what anybody says. This is a championship contending team right now. And look at how good they're playing against OKC. And I'm like, yeah, they're playing great, but let's pump the brakes on. Are they a championship contending team right now? Let's not forget that there's levels to this game.
Right.
And real talk, the Spurs haven't won nothing in the postseason yet. I'm sure they're going to be a great team. They have all the makings of a great team. They're going to make some noise. They put themselves on the map. If they win this chip tonight against, the Knicks, and they get to hoist the banner up, for winning the Emirates Cup, that's great. That shows you growth. Be excited as a Spurs fan. It's something to be excited about and praise the team and enjoy the run. But in order to be a championship contending team, it all matters in the postseason, because the regular season, that gets thrown out the window. When you get in the postseason, guess what the records are for everybody that's in the postseason? In game 1, 0-0. Nobody's won, nobody's lost. And that's where the real season starts, because the path to get to the NBA Finals is a hard one. And we've seen that with the Spurs of old.
I'm going to tell you what I think about the Spurs being championship contenders right now. Is that they're the team you don't want to face.
No.
They're the Houston Texans right now, the NFL. Right? Are the Houston Texans Super Bowl contenders? Well, if they win the division, maybe. Right? But you don't want to play them. They'll beat your ass up.
Yeah.
And I would say this is how good the Spurs have done. They've beaten the Rockets this year. They've beaten the Nuggets on the road. They've beaten the Lakers on the road. They've beaten Oklahoma City. They actually have credible wins, Joe, and a lot of them without Wemby.
Yeah.
So if you had asked me this question 3 weeks ago, I would have said, hell no, the Spurs are not championship contenders. Right now, Joe, I'm not saying yes, but I'm not saying no either. I'm kind of like, they're trending in that direction.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's a good problem to have at the end of the day. Like, this is a good team, right? This is a good Spurs team. You're seeing them develop right before your eyes, and it's exciting. But you got to pump the brakes with the champion. They're championship contenders now. To say that means that they had to at least have a deep run in the playoffs. To say that means that they were what, in the Western Conference Finals? If memory serves me right, what's happened in the last 6 years? Have they been in the postseason? No. So, I mean, to me, it's like, yes, something to be excited about, but pump the brakes, man. We got to see what they can do in the postseason and see where the chips fall for them. Man, can you imagine, Mike, if they get to the second round of the NBA playoffs? Man, that's going to be like, hey, this really is a championship contending team. If they get to the finals, you could say that, the Western Conference Finals.
It's about seeding, right? And last night you saw the Denver Nuggets beat the Houston Rockets in overtime last night, which means the Spurs are right now tied for the number 3 spot in the Western Conference with an 18-7 record. Why aren't the Spurs moving up? Well, it's because Oklahoma City has won 9 out of 10 games. Denver, Lakers, and Spurs have all won 7 out of 10 games. They're all 7-3. And the Rockets are 6-4 in the last 10 games. And Minnesota's 7-3 in the last 10 games. There's no movement. They're just all bunched up there in the Western Conference, so much so that when you look at the standings, only 2 games separate Denver at number 2 and Houston at 5, and the Spurs are right there in the middle, tied for 3 with the Lakers. Did you know, Joe, that tonight's game doesn't count?
I know it don't count. It don't count.
It does. None of the stats count. It does. If the Spurs win this game, they don't go to 19-7. If the Spurs lose this game, they don't go to 18-8.
Nope.
This is the only game of the NBA season that does not count for record, does not count for stats, but what it does count for, Joe, is money, because each Spurs
Yeah.
player has $300,000 on the line if the Spurs win this game, because they get north of 200,000 for winning the semifinal game. Okay, remember back when it was 50,000 for making the quarters, made it to 100,000. You know, Keldon Johnson, he won a llama, right? They beat Oklahoma City, which got them an extra 100 grand. Now they're at like 212, if I'm not mistaken, and they get over 500,000 each, Joe, if the Spurs win tonight. But again, it doesn't count today.
Hey, we got some super chats we got to address because we got behind on these.
Here comes the money.
So this was from Sam Salinas. Thank you for the 199 super chat, by the way, Sam. We appreciate you. He says Sohan is the top gone player on this team. What's his name? Gone. And we got another super chat. This one's coming from Jason Garcia.
Here comes the money.
There you go.
Okay, Jason Garcia says, I'll say it. Wave Sohan and sign CP3. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to all. I mean, CP3, if he's going to be a coach on this team, which I can see it happening. CP3, interesting player. I wouldn't mind them bringing him back just to be a player coach type of scenario thing, right? But he'll never sniff the court. He'll be just like Sohan, taking up the last seat on the bench. I mean, at this point, I think the Spurs are going to play Jones Garcia more than Sohan.
Hey, David Jones Garcia was balling out the other day over in Austin, man. He had like 40-something points. I was like, damn, go do your thing, you know? Like, damn, that's a good game. I mean, unfortunately, he's not going to get a lot of burn this season, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you need somebody at the end of the bench because injuries happen, you know, and Sohan is going to be at the end of the bench until something happens, and you can't victory cigar him. He's a 4-year vet on this team. He's not Garcia, which, by the way, the Spurs got rid of Riley Minix over the weekend, which I found to be interesting. They brought in another guy from the Austin Spurs to join the team, so signed him to a 2-way contract.
You know what's interesting, Mike? I wanted to kind of hear what another coach has to say about the players, right? About San Antonio. And what better soundbite than to share than from a former assistant Spurs head coach in Mike Brown.
Yeah.
You know? Let's hear what he has to say about his former team here, San Antonio, as he was talking to the media. And this courtesy of the official NBA on X.
In this league, there's so many talented teams and individuals. And, you know, I tell our guys a lot of times what separates, you know, the great teams from the mediocre teams or the average teams, however you want to call it, is usually the ones that have the highest competitive spirit throughout the course of the roster and staff, and also the ones that really embrace the details, because guys are just that good, you know, and that's why on any given night you can see a team that quote unquote is not supposed to win. You know, people say, hey, you're supposed to be. No, you can't beat talented teams like that every night, and so you know, I feel like our staff and our players, our organization, starting with Mr. Dolan on down, everybody has a competitive spirit.
It's a respect factor.
Yeah.
I think other players respect the Spurs. And it used to be you respect the Spurs because Pop was on the bench.
Yeah.
But now you're looking at what's going on with the Spurs right now, having Mitch Johnson at the head as the head of the team. There's a lot more of a respect factor going on right there of awe. It's like, I cannot believe the Spurs are ahead of schedule. They knew that when the Spurs were going to get Wemby, that the Spurs were going to be contenders of playoff contenders at some point, right? But the Spurs are ahead of schedule. And if there's anything to be said about this season, Joe, and yes, I know the chat wants us to talk about the Jackals, and we'll get there to them in a second.
Well, we'll talk to them. We'll talk about them.
But the Spurs going 9-3 without Wemby, I think a lot of Spurs fans would think that that's obviously a good thing for the standings are concerned. But I think a lot of Spurs fans are like, ha ha ha, Spurs have a better winning percentage without Wemby than they do with him. All that stuff, right? Like Wemby would take offense to that. I think if there's anything that's happened over the course of the past 3 months
Yeah.
that would make Wemby want to stay long term. Now he's going to be a restricted free agent at the end of next season, right? And which means the Spurs are going to keep him for another 4 years. But let's say long term, like want to be here. Remember I say all the time, Joe, you don't know what these players are thinking because they always give the PR move. They give the PR answer.
Oh, I want to be here forever. I want to be here for my entire career.
Yes.
And then they gone.
Then they gone. But I think Wemby seeing this team go 9-3 without him,
Yeah.
will make him want to stay. Because it's one of those things. It's a culture. It's the fact that the players around him are good. That they think about the roster the Spurs had in his rookie season. Basura.
They still have. What did they have in his rookie season that was still on this team that was no good?
Well, Spurs had Keldon on the team. They had Vassell on the team, and
Zach Collins.
Those are the 3 holdovers, right? But we had Trey Jones and Zach Collins, and we had, it was just a poo-poo platter of players, man.
Didn't they have Malachi Branham? Wasn't he still in the mix?
Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley.
Yeah.
But Wemby right now is looking at a team mature before his very eyes. And I think the interesting thing about it, Joe, is that Wemby doesn't have to do everything. They don't need and maybe that's the secret sauce of the Spurs right now. Maybe I think the idea was that Wemby needed to be Giannis. Wemby needed to be Jokic. Wemby needed to be an all-world player and carry the Spurs to glory. But now, Joe, it's more like, what if the secret sauce is Wemby just needs to do good, be a very good player offensively, great player defensively, and do this as a team as opposed to him carrying them through the playoffs.
Yeah, no, this is the thing though. Like if you look in the years past and you look at the roster that was surrounding Wemby, they weren't very good, right? He was having to be called upon to do everything. He was the focal point. And if he didn't have a good game, the Spurs didn't have a good game. But that's changed now as you see certain players starting to come into their own and flourish and evolve. And now that you're seeing that happen, what does that allow Wemby to do? It allows him to work. He doesn't have to do too much. He can focus on just playing his position and playing his style of basketball. He can be comfortable. He can flourish. He can trust. And I think that's the big thing that goes unnoticed. Wemby trusts his teammates because they've shown that they can win without him, but they're better with him. And when you can trust your teammates, that makes everybody else around you better. Because look at Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell. You're looking at Harper. You look at the big Alote, and I think that's one of the best signings in the offseason. Luke Cornett was, because he does a lot of things that go unnoticed out there on the court. But he makes the floor spacing better for the team as a whole. And Wemby, you put him in the max in the starting 5 out there, and it allows him to flourish now because before he couldn't, because you had players that you throw the ball to. Sohan, he's not going to hit a 3. He could be wide open. He ain't going to hit that shot. I mean, you had Zach Collins. Come on, man. That dude. Well, he wasn't it. And you have these other players now that if you hit Champagnie in the corner, or if you pitch the ball to, let's say, the Toyota Corolla, right? He's going to be money from the corner for 3. The ball's going to go down. And you've seen that happen now, especially in the game against OKC. They're throwing the ball to these players. They're passing the ball to these players, and they're knocking down these clutch shots in key moments of the game. Because if they weren't able to knock down those shots, the Spurs would have lost that game. The game was so close, it came down to free throws. And being clutch at the stripe, the Spurs responded. And that's what you want to see. You want to see your best players out there flourish in crunch time. And now that you're seeing that trust, and you can see that it's amicable. The players trust Wemby. Wemby trusts the players. And look what's happening. They're growing up before your eyes. So I think that's one of the key factors in all this that's going on with the Spurs and their growth is that Wemby's finally saying, like Michael Jordan back then, right? when he finally the light bulb went on, Mike, and he's like, you know what? I can't do this on my own. I got to trust my players. And what happened? He started winning championships. That's the same thing that's going on with Wemby right now.
Well, I mean, that was beautiful, Joe. All of that true.
Yeah.
The trust factor. You mentioned the word trust. The pressure doesn't have to be on him
No.
all the time. He doesn't have to force up shots. He doesn't have to throw 7 3-point attempts out there like he did last season. He doesn't need to be doing double teams or triple teams, and he could trust the players around him because the players around him, Joe, are good and have special skills. You mentioned Michael Jordan back in the 90s. Jordan, people forget about this, went about 6, 7, 8 years without making the playoffs or being one and done.
Yeah.
But
he was a ball hog, dude.
You build the team around him. Trust Pippen. Trust Ron Harper. Kick back to Steve Kerr to knock down that
Horace
three.
Grant.
Horace Grant.
Scottie Pippen.
Rodman, right? You look at Wemby. Wemby right now, compared to Wemby 2 years ago. Wemby right now, I'm going to kick him out to Trey Jones. Not anymore.
No, man.
You're kicking it back out to who? De'Aaron Fox. I'm going to kick it out to Malachi Branham. Not anymore. You're kicking that out to Steph Castle.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick it out to Sohan. Nope. You're kicking it to Harrison Barnes. You see?
Go to Corolla. Yeah.
I'm going to kick it out to Zach Collins. No, you're going to kick it out to Dylan Harper. Okay. There is a different team around Wemby that they built on him. And keep in mind, a lot of the players the Spurs had before Wemby weren't compatible to him, which is why Sohan's not out there. The idea that Sohan's compatible with Wemby is a complete overblown story.
No.
He's not. But look who fell in line. Keldon Johnson fell in line. Devin Vassell fell in line. And Vassell, for all the grief that we give him, I'm sorry, the positives are outweighing the negatives. And he came up big in that game against Oklahoma City over the weekend. He did. But my goodness, man, Spurs tonight, 7:30 tip-off on Amazon Prime. I already got a text message right now from my sister saying, I don't have credentials.
She needs this login information.
Exactly. Well,
give me the
that's
login.
My sister. That's my sister. I'll give her the log information.
Is that Cindy?
My sister Christina.
Okay.
What we got there?
This is going to be a soundbite that I was going to play for y'all. And this is from Saturday night's win. As a media, they were all like the announcers that are there in the after show that they do on Amazon Prime. They were talking with Stephon Castle. And this dude got beat up, bloody lip, bloody nose, had a piece of tissue or something in his nose as he was shooting a free throw. He's a warrior, man. He was talking about, Saturday's win. So let's listen to what he had to say.
We heard Wemby in that post-game interview with Cassidy basically say, we know people are saying the OKC Thunder are unbeatable, but we did this and we showed people who we were tonight. Who do you think you showed everyone the Spurs are?
Yeah, I think we got supreme confidence against any team in the league. People say that they're unbeatable, but we come into every game feeling like we're unbeatable too. So I think we just showed our maturity and our confidence.
We heard Wemby in that.
And there you go. He's saying they showed their maturity and confidence.
Confidence
is high right now.
Go back down right there. If you go full screen, you don't have to play it. Just go full screen.
Okay. Here?
On that. Just full screen it. Let's talk about what we're seeing on the screen here, right here. That right there is Dirk Nowitzki, if I'm not mistaken, on the left.
Yeah.
You have Nash, Blake Griffin, and I don't know who's on the far right.
Udonis Haslem.
Haslem. Okay. I'm going to tell you what. This right here is the best pregame, halftime, and postgame NBA show I've ever seen. And I will say this. They're 100 times better than that crap that we were force-fed by TNT of Shaq and Kenny and Charles Barkley, which did nothing to educate anybody about basketball. I don't care how many times Kenny Smith went up to the wall. That was pure garbage. And the number of Spurs fans and sports fans who are coming at me and going, oh, no, man, they've gone fishing. San Antonio women are fat, all that stuff, right? Joe, it was the only thing that was on. So we thought it was great, right? And when you're stuck in the desert, even piss looks so like something you can drink, right?
Oh my!
And that's what we were forced by the NBA. Piss. We were forced fed Charles Barkley, who's crap at that job. We were forced fed Kenny Smith, who was not funny, and we were forced fed Shaq, who talked like this. You didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Dude, we watched the post-game interview, the pre-game interviews, the pre-game show of Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin is the star of this. He is so good. And Steve Nash is good. And Nowitzki and Haslam does his thing. It is such a joy to watch a pre-game, post-game, halftime show with people who have A, played the game, B, can explain the game, C, are serious about the job, and 4, it's not narcissism all about them. Remember that time Jokic won the MVP and they like announced the MVP award, and then you had Shaq go, I don't think he deserved it. Like 5 seconds after they announced it. Remember that? None of these 4 guys ever would have done that. You know why? Because these 4 guys are professionals. Professionals.
They're not payasos. That's what you call them, the TNT
my
crew.
God.
Oh man, just when I think you can't say anything else, man. Like, damn, Mike.
Yeah,
Talking
Sam
about-
Slynn is. Oh, go ahead.
Talking about drinking your own piss in the desert, bro. Like, come on.
Sam Salinas reaches out and says Dirk and Nash are probably the 2 biggest non-Spurs NBA stars who have the most love and respect for the Spurs. Because we battled it out with it, man. At least Dirk got 1 chip out of it, right? Is it Will Van Beckham? That's all I can see from there. That's a new name. Before that, he says Amazon is evil, but their coverage is in a class of their own. Very
You know
true.
what else is good on Amazon? Amazon has like their cameras that they use for the game. And they're like really good, dude.
Like an NFL game, dude. They're zipping through.
Everything looks so nice and clear, and the colors look great. And then you go and watch a game on the $20 app that you have to pay for every month on the FanDuel network. That's pure garbage, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I paying for? Amazon's coverage looks a lot better, and it is a lot better than the FanDuel one. I'm just like, man, why can't they get better cameras, dude? Like Amazon's rocking these really nice high definition cameras, dude. Looks
you know
beautiful.
what? Amazon and FanDuel are doing a really good job this year. But Amazon, with their coverage though of the Cup, and those guys doing the commentating, they found 4 guys. They're entertaining. They're not cerebral. It's not like we're getting Chris Collinsworth going, and this guy, it's not that, Joe. It's kind of like Tony Romo is like the football equivalent of these guys, where you have a personal guy that everybody knows who it is, who will say what needs to be said, and it's funny because they're also opinionated. They're not walking the NBA company line either. They're so much better than Ernie. So much better. And dude, Ernie, Chuck, and all them, Shaq and Kenny. God, we were force-fed crap for 15 years, man. We didn't watch good TV.
Highlights, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
They're trash. They've always been trash, Joe. I've never
EJ
liked
stat of the night, Mike. Come on. No?
Dude, it's just Shaq. Barkley.
Oh, man.
It was bad, dude. It was bad.
So look at
what we got here.
We have this clip of Wemby. They're talking to Wemby ahead of the Emirates Cup. Chris B. Haynes was talking with them. This is courtesy NBA TV. And, they're just discussing the Spurs matchup against, against the Knicks. So let's listen to what they had to say.
Listen, Vic, it was quite an accomplishment for you guys the way you guys beat OKC to get to this championship round. Did you feel like a lot of people didn't give you guys a chance to get out that round?
I don't know. I don't even know, but I just know we've been feeling confident. We've been solid, with some improvement, so there was no reason to worry.
Vic, that was a game that, De'Aaron Fox talked about. That was a tough game for you to come back and make your return against that team, man. How did you feel?
Felt great. Of course, it's not the ideal condition, but I couldn't stop moving before the game. I was too excited, too much energy, so I ain't even had any worry about it.
Vic, now I got to bring up something that I saw last game. So it was the first quarter. Remember, you didn't get into the game until the second quarter. So you're doing your stretches, your exercises, right? And then when you finish your exercise, you're walking by your teammates on the bench. And before you sit down, you go, oh, like you almost stepped on, like they messed your ankle. But they were paranoid, man. Thought you really did, so you were playing with them.
I don't think that's how they saw it. That's not what I tried to do. I tried to act like I was subbing in. Like, Like I was going.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was just having fun, dude, talking. But our boy Fernandez. Oh, I can't hear you. I lost your audio.
I said that's why I didn't want to play with Duncan, because I would roll his ankle. That's exactly what it was.
Mike. No.
Okay, but Fernandez is in Las Vegas.
He was in Las Vegas, and
With
I
the
was talking
Jackals.
with him. Well, yeah, and this is the thing that I was talking with him about last night. He was telling me that before Victor Wembanyama came out on the court, right, getting prepared to come out on the court and play finally,
Mhm.
that Rick says, man, he didn't get the video of it, but he was telling me that he could see Bismack Biyombo and Wemby in the tunnel, and they were like pushing on each other. Like if he was in a
Yeah.
game, he was bodying him up, like getting him hyped, getting him ready to get into the game to get that contact, and Rick's like, dude, that was amazing to see. Like they were just running at each other and like he was hitting him, like getting him pumped to get in the game. Like he was, getting him ready for the contact that he's going to see on the court. And then they introduced Wemby. Wemby came out in that second quarter. But Rick was telling me that those are little things that you don't see that happen behind the scenes, like how important these veteran players are to these young players. Like Bismack Biyombo probably does these things that we don't see a lot of, and some of the other veteran players in the locker room or behind the scenes with Wemby and some of these other players to get them ready to come inside, come into the game, and play at a high level. They probably do these things during practice and whatnot. And that's cool, man, to see stuff like that, little things that go unnoticed, but have a bigger impact on the game than you realize.
They're the
So-
hype. They're the hype guys, man. I mean,
Yeah.
they get you pumped up, and Keldon Johnson's a hype guy as well, but he also brings it on the court. Reminds me of that ESPN 30 for 30 where Mark Jackson was Reggie Miller's hype guy, getting under his skin, going, man, they think you're a loser, man. They don't think you have it in you to win this game. Just whatever it takes to motivate and get the blood flowing. You asked the question earlier, are the Spurs championship contenders? I would say this, though. The Cup experience has made them better prepared for the playoffs because they're playing playoff level basketball right now. You cannot tell me that Oklahoma City did not want to win that game Saturday night. They wanted that game. They didn't get that game. You can't tell me that against the Lakers that wasn't a playoff atmosphere, because it was. It was. Joe, money was on the line. And again, Spurs win this. The Knicks here by 2.5 points. We get a banner.
Yeah.
I don't know how much honking's going to get done on Commerce tonight. How much honking's going to get done on Southwest Military. But it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be fascinating.
So look at this. There's another story. We're going to get into Spurs Jackals talk here, right? So
Yeah.
Rick was actually in Vegas, for Saturday's game. And he was telling me that he was gifted a ticket by the Spurs Jackals. And he says these are really good tickets because Rick is kind of like you. He's going to wait till the last minute to get a lower level seat, because they usually are a better price. But he was given a really good seat by the Jackals, to sit with them and be able to watch this game. Really great experience that he had out there. And of course, he had the belt, and Michelle Beadle liked the belt as well. So Rick and Michelle Beadle took a picture, and that was great. But more importantly, the Jackals are going to be there today against, when the Spurs take on the Knicks, and they're going to bring the noise and hopefully, kind of disrupt everything out there in favor of the Spurs. So I thought that was a nice touch by Wemby and the Spurs organization by not only getting them over there by, paying for their flight and then also paying for their room and board and getting them the tickets to be there in full force to make it almost like it's a home court advantage for them in a way. It's a classy touch.
That one priest should have joined the Jackals if he wanted to go to the games, man.
Right? Don't be lying, Padre.
Come on, Padre. Is this where I do my mea culpa? Is this where I say I'm sorry to the Jackals? And this is where I say it in Spanish, lo siento. I'm glad the Jackals are going. I'm glad that they're going because it's interesting for the Spurs to buy that section over there to make it a home game shows how much this game means to the team. Because the players are actually playing to win the game. They're not going out there for fun and to play slots and to go to Planet Hollywood and play craps. They're going to win the game tonight. That's what they want to do. Money's on the line. Again, it doesn't count towards the stats. A win doesn't count as win number 19. A loss does not count as loss number 8.
Yeah.
But the Spurs are trying to win this game. And
is it time I follow the Jackals, Mike? I didn't even know I was following the Jackals.
well, you look at it this way: the Spurs had more people cheering for them Saturday night against Oklahoma City than people were cheering for the Thunder. And I liked what the announcers were saying. They were like, "Why are so many people cheering for the Spurs?" And one of the announcers, I don't know who it was, said, "A lot of people here got money lines."
Hey man, and those money lines hit.
They're playing in Vegas. A lot of people had the Spurs money line, or at the very least, plus 9.5 points, Joe.
Yeah, man. That was great, though. That a lot of people had a lot of fun with this game because not only was it one of the best games of the season, a thriller at that, but I mean, a lot of people won a lot of money in Vegas. I bet you Vegas was mad, dude.
Yeah, Vegas got fleeced. Jordan Schneider on our chat, powered by PF Chang's La Cantera, saying, "Imagine hitting on a Spurs fan group going to a neutral site." Did I do that? I didn't. I said I'm glad that they're going. What the F, man? What's going on here?
I don't know some of the people in here. Look, man, real talk, dude. Like some of these guys here, they know what they're with the SAFC supporters group and all that, and they feel a certain way about the Jackals. But at the end of the day, dude, like real talk, man, you all do the same thing. You're supporters of the team, right? You're supporters of the SAFC. Jackals are supporters of the San Antonio Spurs. I know you feel sided and you feel a certain way about it, but can you imagine if the SAFC supporters group decided to kind of embrace the Jackals and go out there and say, "Hey, man, we would like to join you all for a game," and then do the same. Hey, the SAFC, hey, we'd like to have you all come out and join us for a game. Y'all are doing the same thing. Like you could play nice together, like help each other grow. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So exactly, and I think the SAFC are mad that the Spurs didn't even send them a Greyhound.
I get it, man.
By the way, Big Sean's asking the question. This game really doesn't count on the win-loss record? Does not count. Stats don't count either. Wemby scores 50 points. Joe's not going to sign the Wemby apology form because it didn't count. It didn't count. I mean, it just didn't count. Cooper Flagg, by the way, had 42 points last night. So
yeah,
you'll sign the Cooper Flagg Cooper Flagg apology form.
You know what we need to do though? Something big happened over the weekend, man. And that's with the Heisman Trophy, Mike. I mean, I don't know if you saw that, but do you see who won the Heisman Trophy?
Fernando Mendoza, Indiana.
And it's the first time that a Cuban born person has actually won the Heisman.
And I'm assuming this is the first time ever back the winner and runner up were both Latino. Because Diego Pavia was runner up from Vanderbilt, which, by the way, he made an ass out of himself afterwards. Did you see that? Did you see what he did?
So
he's going on some apology tour right now because Diego Pavia lost the Heisman Trophy, even though he and the Pavia Mafia, including his mom, who Theo Vaughn's been trying to hook up with for a while, he was upset about it because Pavia won. I mean, Mendoza won by a big margin, right?
Dude. Yeah,
landslide victory. They were undefeated, #1 in the country, and they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, right?
Yeah.
Fernando Mendoza, who will more than likely be a top 5, top 10 football player. Not going to my Saints because my Saints keep winning, but Fernando Mendoza won the award and deservedly so. Diego Pavia had just as good of a stat line, played in the SEC. They beat Alabama, all that stuff, right? But he goes on afterwards and is throwing the bird at pictures and has a sign behind him from the bottle service saying F Indiana, and he's screaming F Indiana. He made himself look like a jackass. And then afterwards, he's like, "Oh, my apologies. My emotions got the better of me." Dude, Diego Pavia, by the way, complete jackass, dude. I saw somebody on TikTok call him a douchebag. That's exactly what he is. He's a douchebag. It's a douchey family. And Pavia, by the way, has been lying his entire career about his height. He has been listed as 6 foot, right? I don't know if you saw a photo of all 4 Heisman Trophy candidates. See if you can find a photo of Diego Pavia at the Heisman Awards. Diego, he is closer to my height than he is Fernando Mendoza's height. Okay? Diego Pavia saying he's 6 foot. Okay, well then those guys are 7 feet tall. Baker Mayfield lied about his height for a long time. So did Drew Brees, but at least Drew Brees was 6'1" or 6'2". No way in the world Diego Pavia is 6 foot. No. You know how he's 6 foot tall, Joe? If he's wearing George Costanza's Timberlands from that episode of Seinfeld.
That's a legit picture of him, man.
Looking like Conor McGregor in the middle. See if you can zoom in on that. Can you zoom in on that? F all the voters. F Indiana. What was he thinking, man?
He's a
dumbass. The guy's in the middle of a job interview as to whether or not he's going to be drafted in the NBA draft, the NFL draft in April, and he comes out, dude. Okay, if he's 6 foot tall, that he says he is on Vanderbilt's
how tall
program,
are these other brothers then?
Everybody else is 7'5". That's a real photo.
Dude, he's like maybe 5'10", maybe with shoes?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying, dude. Like,
Jordan Schneider says he's dead 5'7".
Oh my god, dude.
Let's show some love
this
to
guy's
PF
a
Chang's.
douchebag.
He is, dude. Complete D-bag. Let's show some love to PF Chang's La Cantera. They power our chat. Go say hi to Sean Quintero. And don't forget, they have happy hour every day from 3 to 6. And we have a new graphic for them, Joe, that will show.
Yeah, we do, man. So we're going to go ahead and show this, man. Let's show it now. This is the graphic that we have. And we're always talking about the $8.99 cocktail collection that they have.
Yeah.
And what do they call it? The lychee, or what is it? Lychee?
The lychee martini, yeah.
Yeah, and you can see the moco right there that I didn't eat, that I call it. And even Michelle was telling me, eat the lychee.
It's that white thing on the left hand. It's the second drink on the left.
Yeah. And Sean's wife yesterday was telling me, and Sean too, you need to eat that fruit next time you get the martini.
It's good.
That's what she was saying too. And Sean was like, hey, it's good. You got to eat that. And they have like the lemon drop martini. They have a bunch of different drinks there. They even got like their own version of the Moscow Mule. They have some that are there for seasonal purposes, like the blood orange martini that they have there shown in the picture.
Yeah, they have the
Great
Jade
stuff.
Margarita as well. They have the Long Island iced tea. Fantastic. It's PF Chang's cocktail collection for a limited time from open to close for $8.99. Again, the Lychee Martini, Tokyo Mule, Lemon Drop Martini, the Crimson Tiger Long Island, the Jade Margarita, the Golden Buddha Mai Tai. And they have other things like a Cranberry Cosmo and Apple Splice, but it just depends on the location. But again, happy hour from 3 to 6. And on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, it is Wednesday, half off bottles of champagne, half off bottles of wine at PF Chang's. But go visit the one at La Cantera, because not only is it a nicer location, but it's also where Sean Quintero, our friend, one of our biggest supporters, helps run that restaurant. So thank you to PF Chang's La Cantera for powering the chat. People still going on. Charlie Hernandez on our chat saying 5'8.999999999. That's what he says Diego Pavia is. It's funny how Theo Vaughn's trying to make himself part of that family. He's trying hard, man. You've been seeing that, Joe?
Yeah, man.
That's funny.
I'm still reading all these chats, dude. But let's go ahead and just play the video though for PF Chang's. We got to give them some love and do it proper, man.
That's right.
PF Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang's spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of PF Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. PF Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
Fantastic.
You know what?
Again, happy hour 3 to 6.
I was just thinking about Diego Pavia, right?
Mhm.
You know what he is, Mike? He's the Chihuahua dude of the group. It's
Yeah.
always the little one that you got to watch out for, the one that barks the loudest, you know?
Oh yeah, look
And
at
that's-
there he is with the other candidates there.
He's Chihuahua.
He's Timu Johnny Manziel.
And look at what this guy says, because this is right off of the X, not Kenny Rogers. What a tagline, right? He said, not only is he 4 inches shorter than people thought, he's also 5 times as big of a douchebag. This is a real picture, by the way. It's not like doctored in any way.
Can you imagine the combine coming up?
Oh my
measurements that are gonna
God,
come out
dude.
of it? That's funny.
I mean, dude, he's not 6 foot, Mike. Come on.
Liar.
What's he doing, mentiroso? I'm like, come
Mentiroso.
on, man.
Very nice.
No, bro.
Let's talk some NFL, man. Do we want to get into the Cowboys talk or the Texans talk first? Because all the Texans do is win. I told you the other day that we were going to be 2 weeks away from having a conversation about the Texans being 10-5. They're 9-5. We're 7 days away or 6 days away from them being 10-5. Joe, that's just a defense that just doesn't give up, man. Again, what do they do? What do they do? They play defense.
Yeah,
What wins championships game, Joe?
Defense.
Defense wins
man.
championships. And they have arguably the best defense. I was watching ESPN in the background over here, listing their top 5 power rankings. They have the Texans ranked as 5.
It's because of their defense, man. Like we said, the offense is serviceable.
Right? But it's a defense, man. Let me fix the audio.
There we are. All right, so I got the audio fixed now. But it's the defense that really matters. That's either gonna win you a championship, like you can go out there and get you a Super Bowl, right? With defense.
Mm-hmm.
That happened in years past. As long as you have your offense, it's all right. You know, the defense can come in clutch. As long as you put up maybe 17 points, 23 points with that offense and a really tight game, you know, where it's just field goals for the other team, you give your team a chance to win.
Yeah,
And-
if you hold the other team down, they beat Arizona over the weekend 40-20. They held Jacoby Brissett to under 250 yards passing. Brissett did have 3 touchdown passes, but he had an interception. Arizona also had a fumble. But 40 points, Joe. If they're going to be scoring points on top of having a good defense, that is a very, very good combination to have. Texans also with 2 sacks in that game.
Did you see what happened over the weekend too with Phillip Rivers, bro? He came in with that Colts team, dude. Guy has
almost won. They were up in the fourth quarter.
He hadn't touched the ball in a couple years and came out, didn't look like he missed a beat. Colts win. They lose by a couple, but it was a heck of a game. And the thing that sucked is if you were in San Antonio, you could not watch that game unless you had like the NFL Sunday ticket.
Right.
Because it was not locally broadcast here. But that was a heck of a game for Phillip Rivers, man. He's looking legit, Mike, over there with the Colts.
Mm-hmm. I was reading up on this, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I've seen it in a lot of different places saying, why would Phillip Rivers come back? What is he known for, Joe? He's known for being a borderline NFL Hall of Fame quarterback. He's also known for having a crap ton of kids.
How many kids did he have? Like 10? 12? Damn.
But rumor has it that because he's back in the NFL, even if it's for a couple of weeks, he gets health insurance again. He was having health. He was coaching high school football, and by the way, coaching using Indianapolis's playbook. But now he gets to get the health insurance, the NFL health insurance again, which apparently is really good. So,
yeah,
I mean, good thing for his family. That's not cheap, Joe.
Oh,
health
dude.
insurance these days is not cheap.
How much do you think that brother's paying for health insurance on his own? Like for 10 kids, dude? God.
10.
I don't even want to think about it, Mike. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to feed that household? What does that bill look like, dude? Like,
how many bedrooms do you need to have?
I mean, a lot. You can't have 10 bedrooms, but I mean, you got to at least have 5. Got to do something. I mean, that's a lot of kids, dude. Like, I would be looking at reasons to be outside doing something than being indoors with them kids. But you know what? Them kids, you can put them to work, dude. They be out there helping you. You know, you got a whole crew with you there, Mike.
Mhm.
Raking leaves, cutting grass. You know, like you get it done.
I'm gonna send you something because I was talking about how big of a house do you need, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you. Chica and I were in San Antonio over the weekend looking at houses,
Oh
and I'm
gosh.
gonna send you one that we looked at. Joe, I just sent it to our chat. By the way, while we're looking this up real fast, hit the like button. We're at 20
Yeah.
likes right now. Hit the like button. You've got 10 seconds. Go hit the like button. Joe, this was a house that did not have any walls.
What?
Okay, I mean, it had walls. It was enclosed, but it did not have conventional walls. Chica
Oh,
and
I
I
see.
both loved this house and hated this house. And it's out by 1604 in Culebra. If you know where like the Home Depot is, out off of Rogers Ranch in that area, Joe, the house was insane. 2.5 acres, beautiful yard. It lights up. I mean, it looks really nice. We were looking at this house, and if you can click on any of these photos, Joe, look at the walls. What do you notice?
A bunch of glass.
The walls are all glass all the way around the house. The outdoors, the backyard area was beautiful, though. By the way, that door in the front was at the University of Texas. The house was built by an architect, and he apparently worked for UT at some point, and he got their doors. So it's a UT doors when you open the door. It's kind of funny. But the front had some material in the front. But once you get past the front, Joe, everything in that house was glass. All like that's the living room right there. All glass. Can you imagine a hailstorm, Joe?
You know, one thing is with glass, people don't understand. It's beautiful. You know, you get a good view of everything and all that.
Yeah.
But in this Texas heat, man, that's just going to bake you, dude. Like you're going to have to put drapes or something to kind of keep the sun out of the room. Right. I mean, it's great and all, but I mean, and then in the wintertime, if it's cold outside and the wind is blowing, what's going to happen with all that glass? It's going to get cold.
Right.
There's not a lot of insulation there, man. That's what I'm saying.
Or it might get hot.
The bill to heat and cool this place? Nah, man, I'm good.
But the backyard, Joe, was beautiful. It was immaculate in the
bet.
backyard. And
Beautiful
I would have been like 10 minutes from you, Joe.
Oh yeah, man, that bathroom glass, that 80s glass right there, that's got to go, bro. They still got that over there at South Park, man. This is like from the 80s, dude. Like, no, man, knock that out, dude.
but the backyard, Joe, oh, it was to die for.
There you go.
It
great
was
view.
2.5 acres. Had a lake. I mean, a lake, a little fountain, rather.
Yeah.
It's good times, man. Good times.
You got a pergola in the back, entertainment area, a little outdoor sink,
and it lights up, Joe. They have it all lit up. So I don't know. We're probably
Miguelito, you're gonna put some stuff on the grill for us, or what?
Oh, dude, I like grilling, dude. I mean, I do the fake grilling. I do the Traeger, right?
Yeah. Oh, the pellet grill. No, Mike.
No, dude. I want it to cook. I don't want to be like guessing. I don't want to be guessing at it all. I hate charcoal too.
Oh, come on, Mike. Charcoal wood.
You know, the only thing that is burnt to a crisp right now is the Dallas Cowboys season. Now that's a professional segue. Cowboys, Joe, theoretically still alive. Win out, Eagles lose out, but they're no longer in the hunt for the wild card.
They're done, dude. At this time, the Cowboys' time of death is when they lost that other game against the Lions, dude. They were done. They done. You know?
Yeah.
This game that they lost against the Vikings, I mean, that just solidified that they're just, you know, they're done. They caught some steam there, you know, they got fire there for a little bit. Everybody got all excited with the Cowboys winning a couple of games in a row, including myself, but They showed who they truly are. You know, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, what happened? They let you down again. You know, just chalk it up as another wasted season, and next year's our year. Vamos para la Super Bowl, Mike.
No, not at all. Ain't gonna happen. Not while Jerry Jones is alive, and not while Steven Jones is alive. Not going to happen. Alex Noriega says 1% chance. ESPN has said that it's actually half of 1% chance, which means it's a 1 in 200 chance of the Cowboys making the playoffs right now.
Look
You
at
have
this.
the
They give
Eagles.
Mike a chunkla for his transition to Cowboys talk.
Oh, well, I mean, I just like talking about the Cowboys not making the playoffs. What can I say? They can go out there and draft Diego Pavia on the 6th round if they want to.
Somebody says, "Are we going to be signing the Wemby form?" Hell no, I ain't signing that form. Look, man, this y'all got to go ahead and come down with that. He didn't even play 20 games. We already passed the 20 game mark. Why am I going to sign the form? The brother ain't even played 20 games yet. Came back. He had a great game. He had one good game. Let's see if he has another one. Be consistent about it. You're going to play. Be consistent about it. That's all I want. If he can be consistent, I'll give him even less games this time. I'll give him 10 games, Mike. If he can look really good and this team's on the road, they go on a 10-game win streak, I'll sign that damn form.
Spurs pretty much are on a 10-game win streak. If the Spurs win the Cup Finals, Joe, I think that we may need to do it then, Joe. If Wemby has a big game tonight, Cup Finals, yeah, I think you have to sign it, Joe.
Look at that. He says Joe keeps moving the goalposts. How? I gave him 20 games. He couldn't even play 20 because he got injured. I said, all right, I'll give him another 10. Now I'm moving the goalposts. Why?
So, Joe, we have a poll out. Only 15 people have voted this hour. I started as the show started. What are your thoughts on Wemby saying that he likes to trash talk on the court? I like it or don't like it. Joe, what percentage of Spurs fans say that they like it?
Yeah, they like it, dude. Everybody likes Wemby talking crap.
100%.
Yeah.
Because when it's one of your own, Joe, that's all that matters, right?
It's all right. Yeah, damn right it is. You know, and what's going to happen? You know, I made fun the other day, right, when the Spurs won against the Lakers, and I said, who's going down Commerce honking with me? And then what happened after Saturday? Cars were going down honking down Commerce. You know, what's going to happen if the Spurs win the Emirates Cup tonight? What's going to happen down Commerce?
There should be
they should be honking again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That's something right there. That tells you that what? There's something in the air, right? The Spurs fans in the city can feel a change is coming. There's something to get excited about, you know?
Mm-hmm. Joe, I was at the White Rabbit over the weekend. Remember the White Rabbit? It's now called the Paper Tiger. Gabby Girl was out there performing with a little group that she was in over there. It was pretty interesting, man.
What's the name of their group?
Well, they don't have a group. It's part of a program that they're in, where they're learning to play rock music. So Gabby's learning to play guitar and all that stuff. And they sang a couple of songs, which was pretty good. They actually did very well. They did very well. The name of the group that they had out there was called Not a Phase. And, you know, they sang, I guess, what would be described as pop punk, I guess you could say, but more pop than punk. It was fun times, but I seen all these musicians out there who are trying to learn more about rock music and stuff like that. It was pretty good, dude. It was very, very good. Chica and I enjoyed it. We went to my company Christmas party, Joe.
What happened?
Oh my God, my boss throws down, dude. He's got a house that makes Griswold's house from Christmas Vacation look bad. It is a beautiful 5,500 square foot home in the middle of Castle Hills, sprawling estate with a pool. They even have a soccer goal in the backyard. It was beautiful, man. They did a fantastic job. They catered it. We drank and ate like kings and queens. Then we went to go karaoke afterward, but I got there too late and I didn't get my song in. I was gonna do OMG by Usher. I was gonna try that one.
Oh God, dude.
But I didn't make it in time. Didn't make
The
it in time.
embellisher. That's already calling you that. The embellisher.
The embellishers.
That's funny, dude. Well, at least you had a good time. And it was funny too, because you were saying that you didn't know that the theme of the party was going to be like you had to wear a Christmas sweater.
Oh my god. Okay, so Chica had this sexy red dress that she was going to wear, and I was going to wear a brand new button down with like slacks. And then I'm looking at the invitation. It says Christmas sweaters. It was so lame. I hate Christmas sweaters. But we went and got Christmas sweaters, and it was all casual. And yeah. But Chica and I, my house is finally going to be sold, dude. December 26th. Gonna be sold December
Nice.
26th. And then I'm going to go qualify for a mortgage. Someplace to see what's the max I can buy a house for. It shouldn't be bad. All I have is my truck. As far as a payment as debt is concerned, and I can always refinance that or get rid of it if I need to. Daddy wants to get a nice house, but we're looking. There's a couple places that we're looking at right now that we'll be checking out the week of Christmas.
Look
So
at what
hopefully sometime this spring.
Jason Garcia says, "You drink and ate like kings and queens, not like peasants."
Dude, do you know what was the lower ranking alcohol, Joe?
Oh,
Like, how you have like well drinks and stuff like that,
yep,
right?
yep.
The well was Macallan, which is
Wow.
expensive scotch. So Chica and I drank like a king, she drank like a queen. It was fun.
You know what they're saying? They're recommending this for you. Hanover Fist, sing "How Bizarre" by OMC.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
karaoke song.
By the rights, how bizarre.
There you go. Let's sing that one. And speaking of the great things, I mean, when we were out there yesterday over at the Hard Rock, we
Yeah.
kind of had the tour of the third level that they have up there, man. They're
Oh, I
working on
heard
some
about
great
that.
stuff out there, man. It's like a little pop-up bar that they have out there. They got like igloos up there. They had like 2 or 3 igloos, and like they were saying, like if you can rent them out and all that, and you can have a certain amount of people in there. I think it's like 20 people. Great view of the tower, man, especially like for New Year's Eve. I mean, you got a perfect view, dude, from right there, just sitting down, looking at the firework display. And the
Right.
best part is you have your own little area there, right? So you can have your own private like bathrooms, and they got a bar and everything. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. It's a great venue, man. Hopefully we can ink out a deal with them. And I would love to do these live events and stuff from there for the viewers. They would actually have a good time there. Very good time there.
You know, I heard a lot about that over the weekend as far as the third floor is concerned.
Yeah, man.
Maybe even a speakeasy or whatever is
Oh yeah, dude. I
being
saw it
done up
being
there.
built. Great stuff, man.
Yeah, dude, I cannot wait to go out there and get more done. When Chica and I come back to the San Antonio area, it's going to be easier for us to do events. It's going to be
Yeah.
easier for us to be more active in the community and do what we do. By the way, thank you so much to Billy Madison show for being on
Oh yeah, man. Thanks,
last week.
Billy and Derek.
Dude, Billy and Derek and the praise that we got after the show by DMs and by messages and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
was amazing, dude. We had they complimented our show so much, Joe, and they were like, "We know who you are." They're like, you guys talk a lot of crap."
Good or good or bad, we're always in the mix somehow.
Yeah. Let's talk about my practice real fast. Give me a call 210-508-0369. 210-508-0369 if you have any questions about retirement accounts, insurance planning, life insurance, disability, long-term care. If you have any questions about investments and things like that, give me a call 210-508-0369. I've been doing this for 20 years. Speaking of finance, Hannibal Fish reaches out and says, maxing out a mortgage just because they give it to you is not smart, MJ. Well, first of all, in order to have a house, by the way, this is good standard operating procedure. You have what's called a debt to income ratio, or a DTI, right? And with a debt to income ratio, what you look at is your income that is being brought in. In a perfect world, 28% of your money goes towards either rent or a mortgage. That's in a perfect world because they assume that you're going to have other debts along the way, whether it be a car or credit
Yeah.
cards or whatever the case may be. But if you don't have that, then you can stretch it out to 40% and still be very comfortable with what you're living at. I don't have it, well, beginning and when my house is sold, I will have no debt other than my truck, right? And on top of that, Chica has absolutely zero debt, and Chica's selling her house too. So we can actually go to the 30-35% range and still be very comfortable. What you don't want to do is be house rich but cash poor. You don't want to have a nice house but not be able to furnish it. Nice house, not be able to afford to do anything else with it, right? So that's the thing about it all. But 28% is a really good starting point for what it is. So if you're making 100,000 a year, that's 28,000 a year going towards housing, or 100,000 for a couple. Let's say that you have a couple making 50-50. That's 100,000 a year. 28,000 or about 2,200 should be the max what you spend on a mortgage or rent, right? But if you're making 200,000 as a couple, or 300 or 400,000 as a couple, that amount gets bumped up higher. It's all about percentages more than anything else. Also, my income's different because my income's going to be paying me while I'm in retirement. That's the beauty of what I do for a living, is that my paychecks keep coming in, because the way that my business is set up. So very cool. Joy-Con saying he's trying to be hood rich. Ghetto superstar, that is what you are. Hamilton says, don't own it until it's paid off and hold that deed. MJ Mortgage is a fake ownership, pal. Yeah, well, there's no one in Texas owns their mortgage, owns a house. There's not one person in Texas owns a house, because property taxes are so high in Texas because there's no state income tax. They're going to get you one way or the other. No one owns their house in Texas. I mean, in fact, I had to cut a check today for $5,300 for property taxes on the house that I'm selling next week. Is what it
Not
is.
be late with that, because they charge you interest right on the dot.
Yeah.
So I get my taxes are already automatically paid for because it's included with the mortgage every month.
Yeah,
'cause the
mine
money
is
goes
too.
into escrow. But I mean, it seems like it goes up just about every year.
Yeah. But Joe, I got to go off and make some money. Got to go work on those W-2s and 1099s, Joe.
Yep. 1099s. All right, man. We're gonna go ahead and call it a show because I got to get ready for work as well.
Spurs Knicks tonight, 7:30 tip off, Amazon Prime, Emirates Cup final. We're gonna see some trash talking on both sides, more than likely. We're gonna see Brunson take on Mini Brunson, I guess you can say, bowling ball versus Dylan Harper, who's not as much of a bowling ball, but they say that there's a comparison there. Karl Anthony Towns versus Wemby. Castle, Fox, great game. I have no prediction for this game. I just want to enjoy it. Just want to sit back, enjoy it, and hopefully celebrate with everybody tomorrow. Go Spurs, go.
Yep. We'll see you boys tomorrow. Have a good one. Later.
Hit the like button. Share with your friends. We'll be back tomorrow.